You just, all right. Good morning.
Morning.
Thank you, commissioners, for being here. It is the 13th day of February, 2026. It is 9 a.m. We are in the commissioners' courtroom at the new Aransas County Courthouse located at 308 North Live Oak, Rockport, Texas, 78382. I call this special meeting to order. Roll call.
Commissioner Cheney?
Here.
Commissioner Casterline?
Here.
Commissioner Russo? Here. Commissioner Dupnick?
Here.
Judge Garza?
Here. We've got a quorum. We've got a full court at this time. I've got one for citizens to be heard, but did you want to speak during the agenda item?
Yes.
Sounds good. Item number 1.
Move to approve accepting grant award from the community shop and authorizing county judge to execute the grant agreement.
I've got a motion
Second.
and a second. Ms. Caitlin, good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you again for seeing me so urgently on this. We were accepted to get the grant for the $12,300 that we asked for. Just presenting it to see if it can be approved today and signed.
What's it mainly going to go for, Caitlin?
All of the money is the proposed, we have off-site events space rental, $200, and that's for 12 events. Handouts, $1,000. Event equipment, $500. Sponsor shirts, $400. Adoption accessories, $1,200. Photography/marketing, $6,000. Children's education, $1,000. Facebook ads, $1,000. Unscheduled events and promotions, $1,000.
Okay, thank you.
That's the same document you provided to us a few weeks ago when you first came to the court, right?
Yes, sir.
All
Did
right.
Ms. Saucier
Yeah,
want to talk?
I was looking at your name.
Okay.
Ms. Tess Saucier, would you like to come and speak?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Did I say your name right? I'm sorry.
Sautier?
Sautier, okay.
That's okay, it's not Texan. It's French. All right. My name is Tess Sautier, and I'm the president and grant committee chair at the Community Shop. I'm here today to support the Aransas County Animal Care Service request to approve the Community Shop grant, to briefly acquaint you with the proposal process, and to review the requirements of the grant award acknowledgement and contract. In answering your questions, please understand that it's the Community Shop's policy not to discuss grant committee deliberations, any other organization's proposal, or to comment on another organization's determination. In a previous session, this court tendered its approval for Animal Care Services to submit a grant proposal to our organization. The proposal we received was thorough, insightful, and articulate. It met all required criteria in appearance and content. It was one of the most comprehensive proposals that we've ever received. Given the plethora of information provided, it was abundantly clear that a substantial amount of time and effort was spent in preparing it. The grant proposal form and instructions were published on our website. When completed, it was submitted by email. When the grant form was, the grant proposal form was simple and straightforward, and a grant committee member was always available for consultation prior to submission prior to submitting the proposal. Without exception, all applicants were required to submit specific informational and financial information. Every organization had an equal opportunity to secure funding. Once the proposal was received, an initial assessment determined whether the proposal adhered to all published requirements. If it did not contain a complete application with all required documentation attached, it was automatically declined without further review or discussion. After passing the initial review, the grant committee received the proposal, where the purpose of the proposal and the financial stability of the applicant organization was discussed. a strict, systematic internal process, and all grant requirements were conscientiously followed. All proposals were considered separately. Each was evaluated on its own merits. Utmost care was taken to ensure that deliberations were consistent and without bias. No organization was in competition with another. In all my years on the grant committee, no organization was declined because of a lack of funds. Do you have any questions about the process?
Very thorough.
Okay.
I appreciate your comments, and I know Caitlin is quite bright, and I am sure that her proposal was complete. My understanding was 501c3 organizations were the ones that were submitting applications. Is that a faulty assumption?
501c3 organizations do submit to us, and when they do, they have to submit their determination letter. Our documents, as written by our lawyers, state that we can give grants to tax-exempt organizations, which allows school systems, departments of municipalities to submit requests outside of what has been budgeted. So our documents allow that.
So this would have been considered under the tax exempt organizations rather than a 501c3?
Yes, ma'am. As you know, cities, municipalities, states, feds, they're not supposed to be for-profit, right? They are nonprofit entities.
Right.
They are tax-exempt entities. Those are the criteria for organizations to receive funds from us. In the past, we have given money to programs, to special projects within the school system and other entities that did not have a 501c3 designation. But they are, by federal law, right?
Tax
And by
exempt.
state law, they are non-exempt. I mean, they are tax exempt.
Right.
Correct. So our criteria and our ability to give monies is far broader than just to a 501c3. And our documents, when we became incorporated and submitted our 1023 to the IRS, was very broad, so that we could indeed continue to give to the school system for special projects, or to some entity that has a program that benefits the community but falls under a department or entity within a government entity. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay. Did I answer your question?
yes, I believe you did.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Any other questions?
I just want to say, I want
Yes.
to thank you for your organization coming together as they did to provide money through fundraising like y'all do for the community and putting it back into the community.
Thank you, sir. We are very grateful to the community for supporting us. We had a year off that we weren't able to raise any funds, but our funds come from the donations that our community gives to us. And so we are very proud, and our mission is to return those net revenues back to the community for the community's benefit. And 95% of that money are to 501c3s. They are.
I like the fact that you're so well organized.
Yes, sir.
You just can't send your brother-in-law up there to get some money. You're
And
well
because
organized
you're
and,
so-and-so's daughter, you can't come in and say, hey, I want some money for, to
Yeah.
go sell lemonade. We can't do
Right.
that. Yes.
good.
You made the statement that no organization who has requested money has been denied money due to a lack of funding.
Due to
Did
a
you
lack
not?
of funding, that's right. They have to qualify. They must qualify. If they do not qualify, they do not receive funds.
So of the requests that you received this year, what I believe I'm hearing is that this money is not coming to the county animal care and another worthwhile charitable organization has been denied that money because of this grant. Is that what you're telling
That
us?
is exactly what I'm saying. Yes, ma'am, that is exactly correct. No one was denied because the money was earmarked for someone else. Everything is done separately. The applications are not compared in any way, shape, or form. Everyone stands on its own. And if they follow the directions and they include everything that is required of them, and then they pass that initial review, and it goes on to the full grant committee. So, and in deciding who receives those grants and the amount of funding they will receive comes from the grant committee itself. I may chair the committee, but I don't vote, unless there's a tie. There are 8 people who determine whether or not this is approved, and then at a later session, once we've approved the organizations that have submitted, once we have the approved organizations, we then talk about funding. Okay? We don't even talk about funding until everything has been done and we know exactly the organizations that will be receiving money.
And the organizations that do not make it to that tier, do they get some sort of a response or feedback from your organization, letting them know why they were bumped out of the process?
We do not.
Okay.
It is our policy not to discuss that
Okay,
with the organization. The actual form and the instructions are incredibly simple.
okay.
Now, we held a workshop in 2023 about how to write grants, how to write successful grants for the community shop.
I remember that. I didn't attend, but I have friends who
Yes, ma'am.
volunteer there.
Yes, ma'am, and they were given a workbook, a how-to workbook. And it wasn't just for our grants, but for grants generally. I've been working with nonprofits for over 50 years, so I have a little bit of knowledge about how to write a successful grant, in addition to having been on those grant determination committees. So we provide as much help as we can, and then it's up to that organization to meet the responsibility of the proposal. And if that is not done, then they do not receive funds.
Thank you for explaining that.
Yes, ma'am. If there's no other questions, I'll move on to the contract. Is that?
Nope.
Are we good? Okay.
Sure.
The Animal Care Service proposal requested funds for, and I quote, "events and programs pertaining to public and child education regarding animal welfare, adoption events, and promotion or advertising of in-shelter pets available for adoption," end quote. We confirmed that the needed funds were not listed in the annual department budget and were not line item expenses therein. Drawing your attention to the grant acknowledgement and contract, and I have a corrected copy with the appropriate signatures with me. Judge Garza and Ms. Frazier are the responsible parties for administering the funds. The fund amount is $12,300. They are restricted funds, which means they are intended for specified purposes. And the project list attached to the contract outlines what those purposes are. And that's page 5 on the contract. The grant term is January 1st through December 31st of 2026. Only specified expenses for that time period may be booked against the grant funds. Funds may not be carried over into the next year. So with this $12,300, Animal Care Services can book their expenses, specified expenses, from January 1st, so here we're in February, from January 1st through December 31st. Okay, so they can go back and they can book their January expenses for these items against the grant. They have 12 months to do that. A status report by August 1st, 2026 will be required. Failure to provide this report is sufficient cause to revoke the grant. And the reason for this is we want to make sure that all of those who are receiving the funds are applying the funds or are attempting to apply the funds for that year. And we'll be sending out a letter in July reminding them about this report, okay? And again, this is something that we reported in our 1023 to the IRS that we would be doing. All of these processes and all of the internal documentation concerning this was submitted to the IRS so that we could have our determination, okay? Any funds not used must be refunded back to the community shop, and copies of receipts will be required to validate all expenses. Is there any other?
So this will be given, the sum will be given, and then the expenses that are made from this money will be remitted to you. It won't be, they spend the money and then remit it and you reimburse. Okay,
No,
I
ma'am.
understand. And we didn't get the addendum, but I saw it, I think, on the last agenda item, so I don't need to see it today.
Okay.
I do have a
The-
question.
Yes, sir.
So you mentioned shelter dogs, but what if there's a dog on, that's at someone's house that they're fostering? Does that include foster dogs?
Does Animal Care Services have responsibility for that animal?
No.
That's being fostered?
Okay, maybe next year we could try something different.
We don't have a foster program quite yet.
Okay,
The only thing that we actually do have foster is that emergency, like severe weather, but we don't have a foster program quite yet, just because there is a lot of legalities when they have a dog into another person's home, plus the feeding and the funding for that, we don't have that quite yet. So right now, we have the emergency fosters for like 1 to 2 days, or a couple of days, or a week. If there's an emergency stance as extreme weather for the outside dogs, if we can't move them in, and/or flooding situations, stuff like that. But we don't do that often, so we don't really have anything for that at the moment.
thank you.
But it's something we are trying to look forward to.
Any fostering right now goes through Second Chance,
Another chance, correct?
another chance.
Oh, okay, all right. Thanks.
Any, I don't think I answered your question, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Yes, you did.
Did I? Okay. Are there any other questions at all?
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much for
Thank you.
your attention and for allowing me to speak to you today.
Thank you, Ms. Tess. Appreciate you.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, motion passes. Item number 2.
Move to approve the indigent healthcare expenditure report for the month of January 2026.
Second?
Morning.
Morning.
Good morning, Madam Treasurer.
The expenditures for the month of January was $57,971.88, which is a little bit above what our normal is for every month, but we did have 2 hospital stays and the doctors going along with that. Any questions?
I had questions written on it on Monday's report, but,
Can you not
I mean, I
remember?
know that it is way below what we show for this amount of months into the new fiscal year with the state. So, no, your department's continuing to do a great work.
Thank you.
Thank Miss Sarita. She's doing great. Thank you. All right.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
All right. Motion passes. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Second?
Got a motion and a second.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, motion passes. Thank you. Thank y'all for being here.
Okay.